I was making coffee at the office when my manager Brandon walked over with his phone. My stomach dropped the second I saw his face. He looked uncomfortable, the way people look when they have caught you doing something you were never supposed to do. "Richard, can we talk in my office?" he asked quietly. I knew it was coming. I had known it was coming for months, but I kept making videos anyway. Every night I would film myself doing makeup tutorials and outfit transitions for my TikTok account. 300,000 followers who knew me as Riley, a girl figuring out life and fashion and who she wanted to be. Nobody at work knew about Riley. Nobody in my real life knew about Riley except my therapist, who told me it was healthy to have a space to express myself. Brandon closed the office door and sat down at his desk. He did not ask me to sit down. "I was scrolling TikTok last night and I saw a video," he said. "The girl in it looked familiar, but I could not place where from. Then I watched another one and I realized it was you." I said nothing. There was nothing to say. "You are really talented," Brandon said, and the kindness in his voice made it somehow worse. "I have watched like 20 of your videos. The makeup stuff is incredible. You are genuinely talented at this." "Thank you," I whispered. "But Richard, we work in finance. We have clients who do background checks. We have a reputation to maintain." He ran his hand over his face like he was tired. "I need to know if this is going to be a problem. If this is something that could affect your work." What he was really asking was whether I was going to keep doing this. Whether I was going to keep living another life outside of the one I had built here. Whether I was going to keep being Riley or go back to being just Richard. "It is not a problem," I said. "It is separate. Nobody knows it is me." "I know it is you," Brandon said. "And now I have to decide what to do about that." He did not fire me that day. He said he needed to think about it. He said he would get back to me. For 3 days I went to work terrified. I kept my head down and did my job and tried not to think about what it would mean if I lost this position. I was 26 years old and I had built a life that looked like what I was supposed to want. A good job in a stable field. A nice apartment. A retirement plan. But every night I came home and filmed videos as Riley because Riley was the only part of my life that felt real. On the 4th day, Brandon called me back into his office. "I have been thinking about this," he said. "I have been thinking about it a lot, actually." I held my breath. I called HR. I talked to my boss. I wanted to know where we stood legally and ethically. He leaned back in his chair. "And honestly, Richard, we have no leg to stand on. You are not breaking any laws. You are not violating any contracts. What you do in your personal time is your personal business." I felt something inside my chest loosen just a little bit. "But I also called someone else," Brandon continued. "I called a recruiter I know at a marketing agency. I showed her your TikTok. Not to get you in trouble, but because I thought you should know something." He slid a business card across the desk. "They want to talk to you about a job," Brandon said. "Content creator position. They specifically want someone who understands Gen Z aesthetics and has genuine experience with beauty and fashion content. They saw your videos and they want to hire Riley." I stared at the card. "The salary is higher than what you make here," Brandon said. "The benefits are actually better. And you would be doing the thing you are actually good at instead of spending 8 hours a day doing spreadsheets you hate. Why are you helping me?" I asked. Brandon was quiet for a moment. He looked out his office window at the city below us. "Because when I was your age, I was scared of being myself too," he said. "I am a gay man and I married a woman because I thought that was what I was supposed to do. We had 2 kids. We were together for 12 years. He turned back to look at me. It took me until I was 34 to finally come out. By then I had wasted so much time pretending. My wife wasted so much time. My kids grew up confused about what love was supposed to look like." He paused. "I am not saying you have to quit this job. I am not saying you have to tell anyone anything. But I am saying that sometimes the people around you know more about what you need than you think they do. And sometimes they can help if you let them." I took the business card. I called the recruiter the next day. I had 3 interviews over the following 2 weeks. They offered me the job on a Friday. The salary was 30% higher than my finance job. The team seemed young and creative and genuinely interested in my vision for content. But I turned it down. Brandon looked devastated when I told him. He asked me why I would turn down something I clearly wanted. I told him the truth because he had earned it. I told him that I realized something in those 2 weeks of interviews. I realized that Riley and Richard were not actually different people. Riley was not my escape from Richard. Riley was Richard finally telling the truth about who he actually was. And that meant that taking the marketing job would just be trading one performance for another. Instead of pretending to be a straight finance guy for 8 hours a day, I would be performing as a content creator girl for 8 hours a day. Different cage. Same bars. So what are you going to do? Brandon asked. I am going to quit finance, I said. But I am not going to take that job either. I am going to take a step back and actually figure out who I want to be when nobody is watching. Not Riley. Not Richard. Just me. And what is that? Brandon asked. I do not know yet, I said. But I know I cannot find out if I am always performing for somebody. Even if I am performing as myself. I quit 2 weeks later. I worked retail for 6 months while I went to therapy and actually talked about dysphoria and transition and what it meant to live authentically. I made TikTok videos, but I made them less frequently. I let the follower count drop because I realized that chasing attention was just another way of hiding. After 6 months of therapy, my therapist asked me if I wanted to start hormone replacement therapy. I said yes. After a year, I came out publicly. Not online. To my family. To the people who mattered. Some of them struggled. Some of them did not. But they all got to know the actual version of me instead of the version I thought I was supposed to be. I eventually did become a content creator. Not because I was chasing a job, but because living authentically was inherently interesting to people. My TikTok now has 2 million followers, and it is all me just being honest about transition and gender and what it feels like to finally stop performing. But the real twist is that Brandon also came out. 6 months after I quit, he told his boss he was gay. He ended his marriage. He moved out and started dating men and lived the life he should have been living all along. He said watching me choose authenticity over safety gave him permission to do the same. Sometimes the people who find your secrets are not there to destroy you. Sometimes they are there to hand you a mirror and ask you if this is really how you want to live. The answer changed everything for both of us. If you enjoyed this story, you can find more like it in my Femboy and Cross-Dressing Stories bundle. 5 complete stories available now on Amazon for just $4.99. Until next time, keep exploring, feeling, and becoming who you are.